Today I have a really fabulous guest with me who is my dearest friend, who is the phenomenal woman with whom we've grown together. And I would say we almost became like sisters, Ishea Mbedzi. Ishea, thank you so much for coming. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Yay, I'm excited too. Thank you so much for having me on here. I'm so looking forward to the next hour.
Me too, because I know there's a pool what we can learn from you, and I'm sure you can share so many tips and tricks, and especially to discuss the challenges that people are facing right now. Because what happens when in a lockdown and people go and they buy lots of food because they're doing this comfort eating, right? And I must say, I was guilty as well. I was. Amount of chocolates I ate is horrible. And every chocolate
Naughty Olga.
I know. I know. But Ashia, could you please share what is the effect on food and exercising, or maybe lack of exercising onto our life, on our well-being, on our mental health? What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, so I guess let me start off first by introducing myself and just saying a little bit about how I got to where I am today, and then it will all kind of like mesh in and make sense.
Wonderful. That's absolutely a wonderful idea.
Okay.
Yes, let's start there.
So my fitness journey, or my fitness in general, fitness lifestyle started in, I want to say 2011, 2012. So I had just moved to Barcelona, and life in Barcelona was a little bit rough. I was working, but I was underpaid. I was in a new country. I didn't know the language. I was homesick. So all of these things really affected me. And in the end, they actually really affected my weight. I ended up gaining a whole bunch of weight because of all the outside elements that were going on for me at that time. And so when I returned back to the UK a year later, I decided to embark on a fitness journey. I basically wanted to get back to myself, because I feel like while I was in Barcelona, I really had just lost myself. Mentally, I was struggling. Emotionally, I was struggling. And now even my body was also struggling. So I decided to embark on my fitness journey. And initially, I wanted a goal, right? I wanted something to focus on, something that would make me kind of like accountable. So I decided to enter into are you ready for it? A bodybuilding competition for women.
Bodybuilding competition for women. You are
Yes.
kidding me.
Yes. So I literally went to the extreme. I was like, right, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to be muscular and all that kind of stuff. And so that's really how my journey started. I had no idea what I was doing, but all I had was that belief in my mind, and that thought in my mind, like, okay, I really need to change because I'm so unhappy with the way I'm looking. I'm so unhappy with the way I'm feeling. And yeah, I literally trained. I was lifting heavy weights. I was eating protein up to my eyeballs. I was buying all kinds of protein shake and really immersing myself into the lifestyle. And then it came time for me to actually compete in this bodybuilding fitness competition, and I didn't do it.
No
All that
way.
time, I didn't do it. I lost the weight. I looked great, of course, because I really put in the work, but I didn't do it. And, you know, I was a little bit, at the time, I didn't really think about why I decided to do this, you know, put my work into this and not do it. But along the lines, along the years, I realized that although I managed to train my body, managed to get fit, the one thing I didn't train was my mindset.
That
I
is
did
so
not
perfect.
train my mind. I trained my muscles and everything else, but my mindset, I didn't train it very well. And I just wasn't confident enough to just step on stage. I thought I still looked unworthy compared to all the other people in the competition. And yeah, I just didn't compete. And to this day, you know, I still feel a little bit sad that I didn't do it, that I didn't achieve it. However, I will really say that my true fitness journey started after that, when I really started learning how to combine my mindset with my body. And that's really what is the most important thing. Because once you train your mind, once you get to the point where you're mindfully aware of what you're doing, your body, your fitness, your well-being just follows. It becomes automatic. So yeah, so that's really, really how far my journey has come. And I guess that's what we're going to talk about today, you know?
My God, absolutely. You know what? This is so inspirational. And how many people do we have who actually tell themselves, now I'm going to enter the competition, or now I'm going to achieve my six packs, or now I'm going to be size 8. And they work towards that, but they stop themselves just before they achieve the goal. And they stop themselves, not because the body is not there, the body is there, but the mentality is not there yet. So we haven't reached the point in our mentality where we are within our body. And you know what? I've been there myself as well. I remember when I came to UK and I lost a lot of weight from what I was back then, I think size 10 probably and a half, whatever. And I lost the weight all the way to size 8. And I still felt I was too fat. And then I lost to size 6. And I was like, oh my God, I literally was bones and skin, nothing else. But in my mind, I was still thinking I'm too fat. And that exactly what controls us. But actually,
Mhm.
how did you overcome that? Because it's easy to train your body. You just go and build those muscles, so stop eating, gonna lose weight, right? That's easy, that's technicals. Please, how did
Mm.
you do that?
Right, so let me see. So I'm gonna say 7, 8 years on, and I'm still training that. And
Oh,
this is where the everyday mindfulness and well-being comes in. You know, it's a constant journey. You know, I'm still learning a lot about, you know, how the mind really works and how the mind really controls things. And I have my following on Instagram. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, Ishea Ivy, I am always being very open and very transparent with this journey when it comes to your mental health and your mindfulness, and really making it clear that it's not a destination. You don't get there and all of a sudden you've got it. Every day we face so many challenges. We face so many things that stop us from, you know, exercising, or that stop us from eating well. Like, for example, right now we're facing a very unfortunate situation. I myself, we're not able to go to the gym. We're not able to, we're really restricted. But it's your mindset that then comes in to say, okay, this is something that is important for me. This is something that I want. I can't go to the gym. I can't do certain things, but things are not impossible. You can still, you know, you can still take care of yourself. You can still take care of your body, still go out for a run, still keep your mindfulness on top, regardless. Because even if we're not going through a pandemic, people still have excuses, right? They're like, oh, I haven't really exercised today because of this, that, or I haven't gone to the gym because of this, that. But if your mindset, if you're able to train your mindset, if you decide that this is what you want to do, it all becomes easy, and there's no such thing as an excuse.
that is true. And especially now, I know many people, including myself, sometimes will say, well, I don't have enough time, right? In normal circumstances. But now, come on, we have all the time in the world. Like, what stops you now from exercising? Like, what stops?
Exactly. Exactly. What stops you? What excuse have you got now? You got all the time in the world. We're still permitted to go out, and in fact, it is encouraged for you to go out and do daily exercise during this time. So yeah, so what's your excuse? You know,
Yeah,
so it's all about kind of like mind over matter, right? It doesn't actually matter what is going on around you. It's your mindset that matters. So what small things can you do? Right? It's not about making big decisions like, okay, yes, I'm going to enter a bodybuilding competition, right?
all of
But
you.
just but just small things, that small little minor thing to make a difference is so good and so important for your fitness journey, or for any journey that you're doing. So here's one thing I wanted to share with you that I say to a lot of my clients. So I have a lot of ladies who come to me and they say, okay, yeah, I want to lose weight, I want to have a certain body, or I want to be a certain weight, or whatever. And most people will have this mindset of, okay, I'm going to do everything. I'm going to start going to the gym 7 days a week. I'm going to stop eating carbs. I'm going to do all of this. And you know what happens? Crash, bang. because you've gone from 0 all the way to 100, and your body is not used to that. Your mind especially is not used to that. If you don't come from a fitness lifestyle or from a fitness background, you're gonna struggle with that. So what I always suggest to all of my clients is that start slowly, one thing, one day at a time. Don't go trying to go working out 7 days a week when you've never worked out 1 day a week. Start with a simple 10-minute walk. 10-minute walk once a day, that's it. Start small and then build up from that. 10-minute walk today, 10-minute walk tomorrow, 10-minute walk the next day. And the next week we get it up to 20. And the next week we're actually maybe able to go to the gym, so start small. And your mind is able to actually digest that a lot more than starting at 100. So this is the biggest tip that I give to all of my clients, and it works. And really, that is what I did as well. I had no idea what I was doing. All I had was, okay, I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to look a certain way. What can I do? So that's the best tip that I can say to people, is start small. Don't go ahead of yourself. Work with yourself, okay? And be realistic. Be realistic. Okay, I can only do 10 minutes to do today. Great, do 10 minutes today. Clap hands, you've done well. Tomorrow we can do the same.
I love that. I must say, I really, really love that, because it's simple and it's something what you can measure and you can tell, have I done my 10 minutes today? Have I done my 1 mile today? Have I done my 100 steps today? And I must say, and I'm sure we're all been there, right? And many, many listeners also been there in the same journey. When you put on weight, you really feel heavy and you do feel lazier. It's normal. It's almost like taking in your hands 2 really heavy bags. It's hard to walk with them, right? So I totally understand the point of, well, right now I'm size whatever, what's the point? No, there is a point, because if you don't feel comfortable with the way you are, you shouldn't follow any standards, right? But if you don't feel comfortable the way you are, start small. Ishea, I love this tip. But look what Maria actually says here. Maria says, great, that's breaking the lazy syndrome.
Yep.
Right?
Breaking the lazy syndrome, breaking the excuses syndrome, all of that.
Yes, exactly. Love that. So ladies or gentlemen as well, not only ladies and gentlemen, start small and do 1 step a day towards that. And I once read, it was a book, which I can't remember the name of it now, you see, fish memory. But in that book, it was saying that in order to build a new habit, you got to start with reshaping the old habit. So if you were not going to the gym and your stuff are not ready, start with putting a bag into a cardboard. Right, just every day come out of your house, put maybe the bag into a cardboard, and then go for a walk. And that's almost like a routine which you can build in order to get somewhere. And it helps not only in fitness, but think about it. Any habit and any area of our lives starts with 1 simple step.
That's it. That's it.
How powerful, how powerful. Beautiful,
Exactly.
beautiful. Okay, so what was next? What was next? Now you are working on yourself, and now you start exercising, now you start losing weight, and now are you getting close in your mentality about loving yourself?
Yes. So every single step you take is getting you that 1 step closer to, being the best version of yourself, of course. As we all know, as cliche as it sounds, the only competition that you really have is yourself. The only standard that you really have is yourself. And so, it's you kind of shaping that. So what's next in terms of my mindset? What next can I do with this, with this newfound journey that I'm embarking on? So I wrote, I had an Instagram post on Monday actually, and it said, there was this quote, "It's not a bad day, it's just a bad thought," right? So we all have bad days. We all have days where you wake up and it's like, why did I get up? Let me just go back to bed. Because everything seems to be going wrong. And part of my own personal development journey is learning to switch my mindset from the negative to the positive. Difficult, cliche, all of that, I know. But I guess it's finding tools to help you do that. Right? Finding tools to help you do that. Okay, this day is bad. This is not going good. This hasn't gone good, but there's always that one thing, even if you have to literally scrape the bottom of the barrel to figure out what has gone right today, you know? And how do you do that? So what I personally do, what I find really useful is exercise. Actually, just going out for a walk, going out for a run. What happens when you exercise is you actually release endorphins, right? That feel good, like I've achieved something feeling. And you get to just clear your head, look at nature, or even if you do go to the gym, just working up a sweat. What I've noticed that does is that it automatically switches your mindset. It automatically switches your mindset to either, okay, fine, let that thing go, or let the day go, or whatever it is that hasn't worked out, let it go. Let it go, relax, chill out, and focus your mind on something else. Focus your mind on your body. Focus your mind on releasing a sweat. Focus your mind, if you're out for a walk, focus your mind on nature. Focus your mind on something else that stops your negative vibration and starts neutralizing it and starts moving it to the positive.
Oh, you just said it, it's almost like you were listening to all my sessions with my clients. Okay, honestly, because very often that would come back to me, and there could be all sorts of different homeworks, but that would come back to me, for example, session 2, 3, because later on in the journey, they already learned how to recognize their behavior and patterns, and they don't do it anymore. But in the beginning, they come back and I say, oh, you know what? I was supposed to do, for example, exercise, or I was supposed to write my journal. I was supposed to do this. And I haven't done it. And I haven't done it because I was busy, and because, children and a dog and a husband and a wife, and there's so many excuses. And I always allow them to give me this birth to all these excuses. And then I ask, what have you done? Like, what was that one thing which you have done about your homework? They could be writing only one thing a day. They will be exercising just one day a week, or rather 7 days a week, which you set up a plan for. They could be not drinking alcohol for, you're planning not drinking for 7 days, but you manage not to drink for 4 days. But how about focusing on one thing which you have done? And you just said it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is such a blessing in the sky. You're so right. It is about what has happened. What can you put your focus on? Something positive, something amazing, the beautiful nature, the good weather, even if it is bad weather, beautiful rain, right? There's so many things to be grateful for, even for the fact you can walk, right? You can go for a walk, right? And with you, we share our power morning routine, and where often we share our gratitude, and how often we actually talk about, I'm grateful for being alive. I'm grateful for the sunshine. Simple things.
Yeah. Yeah,
Powerful.
simple things. And just moving on from that as well, another tool that I find to be really, really useful for me personally, and also for my fitness clients, right? When it comes to health and to fitness. Again, like I mentioned before, these bite-sized chunks that we have in our heads, okay, do it big or go home. No, simple thing that I find really, really works on any journey that you're going through is focusing only on the 24 hours ahead of you. Just focus on this day only, not on the week, not on today and tomorrow. No. Focus on these 24 hours, because it's so much more easier to control what happens in the next 24 hours than it is to control what happens in the next week, right? So even if you're thinking fitness, if you're thinking, okay, what am I going to do today? Ask yourself, what can I do today to contribute towards my fitness? What can I do today to contribute towards my personal development? What can I do today, just today, to contribute towards my well-being, and focus on that. Focus just on that. Digest that. Okay, today, let me see. I don't really have time to go to the gym. I don't really have time to go to the walk for a walk. But at least I've got time to journal. I've got 5 minutes I can dedicate right now to journal. And that's it. And that is it. You've done something, you've moved forward, and you've written another page in your story. You've gone another mile in your journey. And then go to sleep, wake up the next day, and repeat. Again, bite-sized chunks, just the 24 hours, these right here, focus on that. And then the great thing is, when you look back, you'll realize that, wow, all those little things, now look, if it's a weight loss thing, now look, I've lost all that weight. And all it was me simply, I don't know, reducing the tea I had yesterday and today and the day before, you know what I'm saying? Reducing the sugar I put in my tea. So just small little things like that, and then when you look back, you're like, oh wow, like look, I've lost weight, or look, I'm fitter, or look, whatever it is that your journey consists of course mine's just related to fitness because I love this kind of stuff. So it's those 24 hours, it's those small steps that literally builds this bigger puzzle, and when you look back, you're like, I've not done so bad.
How did I do that? How did I do that?
Exactly.
That's the point. We never really notice when we're making the progress. And as we both know, very easy to see progress in your body over the time. You will never see the change within 1 week because a week is not enough. But even within the body, you can see the change, right? Whether it is a month or maybe 6 months, or maybe it is like 12 months, whatever it is, you can see the results within your body. Within your mind, it's really challenging to see that because your body doesn't turn green when you've done it. You're still the same. But the way you will think and the way you appreciate yourself more and the way you'll be more willing to exercise or to be willing more to love yourself, that will change. And I
Mm-hmm.
must say, this is the biggest thing what we all, I think, need to focus on, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Indeed. I definitely agree on that. I
Yeah,
definitely agree.
yeah.
Mm.
But you see, right now, what people are facing is they are at home, gyms are closed, they can't go out. We're also limited to one walk a day. And I agree with you. Focus on what can you do within next 24 hours. Okay, so what they can do now is going maybe for the evening walk and maybe do it a bit longer than before, right? But then they go back home and there are those cupboards with those chocolates and crisps. What can we do about those? Because I use my tip, I just don't buy. Because if I don't have it at home, I'm not eating them, right? And you know what? That works. That really works.
It works. Yeah,
It
it
works.
works. No, it works. I really do agree. It's the same with anything, with salt, with sugar. Don't buy it. It's not in your house. You're not going to eat it. Especially now when you can't really even be going to the shops that much. You're not going to just go out and buy it. But okay, so tips really. That tip actually is really, really good one. Don't buy it, don't eat it. Out of sight, out of mind, right? Simple. um, Again, I'm going to go back to the idea of, okay, planning your meals is always, always, always a good thing. Plan your meals. So when you wake up, again, remember what we said about 24 hours ahead. So look at the 24 hours ahead of yourself, right? And think, okay, what am I going to eat? So actually write down a plan of what your breakfast is going to be. And while you're writing it down, really think of your goal. I want to be healthy. I want to eat better. So while you're writing that, you can write down, okay, so I want to be healthier, which means my breakfast, I'm going to have something healthy, whatever that may be, granola with fruit and almond milk. And then my snack. So plan out your meals for the day, meal prep. If you can even do it at the beginning of the week and have all of your meals prepared and ready, even better. And what this helps with is it helps you, first of all, it helps you to know actually what you're going to eat. Because it's usually when you don't know what you're going to eat, that's when you start grabbing and reaching for the chocolate, reaching for that quick, easy thing that is quick and easy to make. And it usually tends to be unhealthy, right? Or takeaway. Okay, let me just order a takeaway. But when you've actually got a plan in your mind, better yet, when you've even prepared your food in advance, it just stops you from doing that. It stops you from having things that are not so healthy for you. So I would say meal prep is definitely one of the most useful ways of maintaining healthy lifestyle during quarantine. Prepare your meals, especially now that there's so many avenues available for us to get healthy. I've got a YouTube channel whereby I share healthy eating, I share exercises and stuff like that. There's loads of things on YouTube, loads of things on social media. We have time, let's do it. So that's definitely one of the really, really useful tips on staying healthy. Right, so this one is slightly small, minor, but it actually really, really helps. Increasing your water intake, increasing the amount of water you're drinking. Cheers, clink, clink. So when you drink water is so beneficial for our body. This is probably very cliche, most people know this, but I think that it's important for me to just reiterate and make you understand the importance of drinking water and staying healthy. So water performs various functions in our body, including clearing out toxins, burning fat, metabolizing your body, etc., etc., etc. So when you drink water, you're actually aiding your body, and you're actually allowing all of your organs to function optimally, and to function and to use their resources, so to speak. So for example, when it comes to metabolizing fat, your kidney and your liver work in unison to actually metabolize your fat and to metabolize all the food that you're eating in your body. So if you drink water, your body's able to digest things, and also it's able to send messages to your brain and to your senses to say, okay, everything's working well here. I'm well I don't know what word to use.
Hydrated.
I'm well hydrated, my nutrition is good, I'm burning fat here, everything's going well. So it's like a function. So when you're drinking water, it just helps your function to tick over and tick over and tick over. And therefore it stops you from wanting to reach for things that you don't need, because actually your body is doing all the work for you because you're keeping it hydrated. So most of the time when you're dehydrated, you start reaching for things, or not even that, but your body is a little bit more confused, like, okay, what do I need? Do I need sugar? Do I need this? Do I need that? And that's when you just start binging and eating everything, when actually if you stay hydrated, your body is just able to communicate with you like, okay, we're doing good, we just need a little bit of salt here, a little bit of sugar, a bit more protein, all that kind of stuff. And your body will tell you what it needs, but you have to work with it. And drinking water is one of the best things that you can do to really, really help your body.
I love it. So basically, by drinking water, you can help your body to speak to you better.
There you go.
That's it. Yeah.
And function better.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
function better. Right. Okay. So next time, if I'm craving some chocolates, I'll be drinking more water.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good tip. That's a good
Yeah.
tip. Yeah, I learned something today. That's a very good tip, because you're right. Sometimes I'm just sitting there thinking, I just fancy something sweet, but maybe actually it's just the water what I need.
It's just dehydration.
Yeah.
Drink some water.
Gonna be now mastering that. I'm gonna be now mastering that. Okay, but how would you say that people can tell that their body needs some more water? Because what I can recognize when my skin is getting a bit drier, for me it's like, Olga, you haven't been drinking enough water, right? So
Mm-hmm.
usually, yes, creams will help, definitely 100%. It's good to moisturize your skin, but I can tell by my skin if it gets a bit drier that I wasn't drinking enough of water. So do
Mm-hmm.
you have any other tips where people can learn and kind of observe that their body is telling them, hello, I need more water, not crisps, not chocolates, I need more water? What can they observe? What they can learn from?
I mean, you've pretty much said it. If you feel, or if you find, and not just with water as well, let me expand this as well. Not just with water, but with everything. Your body speaks to you. Your body is constantly speaking to you. Your body is constantly working for you, right? It's working in favor for you. And what I always say to all of my clients is, work with your body and not against it, right? Your body will tell you, and you will know what your body needs, right? It will always tell you, like you said, if you have got a skin issue, or if you've got one of my friends was saying she got an ear infection. All of these things are basically your body saying, I need more nutrients. I need more nutrients. I need you to, take care of me, give me water, give me vitamins, give me minerals, that kind of thing. So it's not even, it's a case of, when you're neglecting your body, because your body will be like, okay, this is a rash because you're neglecting me. Or this is, bad hair or bad skin or whatever because you're neglecting me. And it's literally just making that switch and just saying, okay, cool, this isn't quite working out. I'm not quite functioning very well because now I've got all these ailments and stuff. Let me actually work with my body. And it will tell you, you'll just know. And sometimes it will come in the form of a craving, like, okay, I'm really craving something that's got vitamin C in it or something, and you find yourself wanting to have an omelet with spinach, and just follow those. It's very easy. Your body is very smart, and it's just you building that relationship with it and knowing it and saying, okay, cool, like we need more vitamin C, great, let's eat this, or we need more water, let's drink more water, that kind of thing. But if you neglect it, then that relationship doesn't quite work. And you end up, deteriorating and kind of like, losing the connection with your body, so to speak.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. And I must say that I totally agree with you. We need to listen to our body. But here I think is a tiny, tiny trick. And the reason why I want to bring it up is just because I work, well, as you know, I'm a life coach, and I work with people a lot on their mindset, and especially how people who don't feel complete, full, loved, or, appreciated deep inside, how they go and turn into food, because food makes them full. And as a result, they feel complete, right? So here, what would you say? Because obviously I have plenty of tips from myself, but do you have anything what you can advise to those people who actually are turning into that food which is garbage food, right? Which is not healthy, clearly not healthy, but people are doing that, and very, very often for emotional reasons, right? Because maybe they just had an argument, or maybe they're just stressed. Like, stress is a big driver to eat some junk food. It's a big, big driver. So what people could do if actually they are turning to the cupboard, which is full of crisps or chocolates, and they're just about to stuff their face with something really unhealthy just because emotionally they don't feel complete. What would you say on that?
Oh, okay. I think they should call you to help them out.
Best answer ever.
I guess it really goes back to, just that whole idea of mindfulness. So before you reach for something unhealthy, have a conversation with yourself. Be like, right, okay, why am I eating? Why am I reaching over to the cupboard to have this chocolate, or this seventh slice of chocolate cake? Why am I reaching for my seventh slice of chocolate cake? And actually have a conversation with yourself and trace it back. Okay, it's because I'm feeling lonely. Okay, good. Step back. Why am I feeling lonely? Because I've broken up with whoever I've broken up with. Why have you know what I'm saying? So start tracing it all the way back. And usually you'll find that you'll get all the way back to yourself, right? You'll get all the way back to yourself, and you'll realize that actually the core of everything around you is you, right? Either you've decided to neglect yourself, which then has caused an impact on this relationship, which has then caused you to be lonely, which is now causing you to eat your seventh slice of cake, right? And so have that conversation with yourself, and see where you end up when you have that conversation, and then work from there. Work from self, start from there, and then everything else basically should fall in line. It's not an easy, I would love to give you an easy answer of saying just go take a nap. Yeah, that's fine, but that's a short term. That's a short term. Or go for a walk. Yeah, that also works actually. Just go for a walk instead of going to have your seventh slice of chocolate. Go for a walk, or change your mindset, do something else, but also start taking care of yourself on a mental note, on a mindful note, on an emotional note. And it's that step of tracing it back, like, okay, why is this happening? So if you use the both of those things, surely you should be able to reach a positive conclusion.
Love that. That is so powerful, and you said it. It's about having conversation with yourself. It
Mm-hmm.
really, really asking yourself these questions, almost like self-coaching yourself. Ask yourself, okay, what has happened? Why exactly I'm reacting this way? Because
Mm-hmm.
going and grabbing some food, it is a reaction on some sorts of action. So what has happened that you feel a certain way that you want to eat a certain food? And then just track it backwards. Really, really good tip. Yes, I love that. Really love that. Okay, so now went on the journey
Mm-hmm.
from doing one step a day, just one thing a day, focusing on 24 hours. So what can I do today within 24 hours? And it could be just a short walk, or it could be little exercises. And now I'm also not buying any chocolates, any sweets, nothing. Okay, my shelves are empty, just healthy vegetables. Right. And every time, even in the shop, I'm just about to reach for the chocolate. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna buy chocolate. I'd rather buy broccoli. Okay. I got that. How do we make it consistent? Ashia, how do we make it happen every day, or at least some sort of regular? Because, people can start and stop 7 days a week, right? How do we make it regular? How do we make it consistent in our lives? So actually we not only start exercising, but we continue with that. What can we do about that?
I guess again, it's molding it back to what we mentioned about. So for me, as soon as I heard you say that, I almost started to get overwhelmed, like, oh my gosh, okay, so now I must do this for a whole year.
Yeah.
Right. And again, I really think it's important for you to break it down. Don't think about all of that. Stop thinking about how you're going to do it consistently. Think about how you're going to do it today.
Good.
And then tomorrow. And then, do you know what
Good.
I mean? Just one step at a time, one foot in front of the other. That's really the best advice that I can even give. And that's really what I do, you know. And like I mentioned earlier, this at the end of the day is a journey. It has no destination, it has no perfection, because in the midst of whatever journey, life is also happening. You know, life is also happening. You'll wake up sometimes and you'll just have days where you're like, you know what, give me the whole cake and I'll eat the whole cake, you know. Give me, you know, the next 7 chocolate bars, or even I'm not going out for a walk, I'm not doing that, because life is happening, and that's okay. Like, that's really okay. It's a matter of learning to work again with yourself and work with the situation. It's not permanent. Like I said, it's just a bad day today. Wake up tomorrow and try again. Wake up tomorrow and try again. Today hasn't worked out, things haven't worked out, it's okay, try again. I find that I have this mantra in my head of, you know, life is a wheel. You know, you're not always going to be having good days, but you're not always going to be having bad days either. So just work with it. And if you need to take a break from whatever, if you need to stop for a second, stop, but get back onto it when you can, when you're ready. There's another day, a brand new 24 hours is coming tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. Just focus on that. Don't focus on the whole year or the whole street. No, just focus on these 24 hours, this what you can control here. So yeah, that's really what I would suggest.
I must say, this is the most, contradictionally tip ever heard, because how do you make it consistent? Focus on only 24 hours ahead. But it works. It really
Yeah,
works. Yeah. Don't think about multiple years in advance. Don't think about 24 years of exercising. Think about 24 hours of exercising.
yeah,
Make it consistent, make it long term. Think about 24 hours. Duh.
yeah,
I love
because
it.
those 24 hours are consistent. You're always going to have a 24 hours. Always.
That's so true. That is so, so true. Wow. Okay. That's really helpful. And I'm sure that'll be helpful for many other people as well, because the danger is when people are doing their best and they say this amazing word, which I'm avoiding always, try. I try to make it consistent. I try to exercise every day. But you know what? Your tip is just absolutely perfect. Concentrate on 24 hours ahead. What can you do about those hours, and start there to make
Hmm.
it long term.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah,
I really like it. Really
yeah,
like it.
yeah.
But you see, I wonder, because on your journey, you said you went all the way to Spain and you put on weight, and then you said to lose weight, and you were losing weight, and yet you didn't enter the competition. Do you remember the lowest of the lowest of the lowest of the moments? Because I'm sure some people right now are living that moment, right? What was your lowest point about your fitness level? What was your, I know, thinking way at that time? What was your, yeah, what did you think back then? Like when you were at your lowest of the lowest, what did you think back then? And what was the one thing? I got the competition was a big thing, what was driving you to stand up and carry on. But what was the one thing that actually awakened you and said, you know what, right now you are the lowest, but come on, we can get up?
Um, what I'll say is that I have, and this is something that I'm still working on now. I've always had a thing with comparing myself to other people.
Mhm.
And that is when I think for me causes that element of lowness, or that causes me to go to that place whereby I just, not that I feel low, but I just feel so unable. You know, I feel so unable because I'm looking around at everyone else and I'm like, well, they're doing really good, they've done this, they've lost weight, they're ready for the stage, you know. And that for me is what is something that I struggled with a lot, and that's one of the reasons why I actually didn't compete. Was because I compared myself to everyone else and I saw myself as, you know, so inferior. and so unready compared to everybody else, you know, like they've competed 6 times already, or, you know, they started with this kind of, they were trained by this people and I'm just a nobody, you know, that kind of thing. And I think for me, that is really what, that is what I'd say is my lowest, to answer your question. And then in terms of overcoming it, it's still something that I still work on now, because I feel like this is something that most of us sometimes go through, where you just have a bad day and you start looking around and you're like, oh, but they're doing better than me. And I think this is where the importance of learning to love yourself really comes in. Learning to be really, really kind to yourself comes in. It's not something that you learn overnight. But again, I have to keep going back to this whole 24 hours thing because it really helps. But it's something that you can control on a daily basis. You know, you can control how you talk to yourself, how kind you are on a daily basis. You know, say to yourself, okay, so today I've done good. You know, I managed to drink 2.5 liters. I've done good. This is me. I've done better in my journey than I did yesterday, right? Focus on yourself, focus on your journey, because most of the time you don't know what other people are facing or what they're going through or what brought them to where they are, to where you're now comparing yourself to them. You don't know that. So it really pays off for you to just focus on yourself and focus on, okay, moving your story forward, right? Who cares what everyone else is doing? It's your story, it's your journey, you know, and what can you do to focus on that? Because ultimately, everyone else is running their own race and you have your own race to run, and that is what you're given, and you make the best out of your situation, you make the best out of your journey, out of your circumstances and what you have available to you all the time. And I'd say probably that's really where the mindset switch was for me. Unfortunately, this mindset switch happened after the competition was over and I couldn't compete anymore for me personally. So it became more of a personal development journey rather than a fitness journey at that point, because I realized that, wow, okay, I really put my mind towards something. I worked towards it, but I never did it. Where is the problem? It's nothing to do with the fitness. It's more to do with my mindset and my personal development and who I am. How can I change that?
How powerful is that? I love that. Really love that. It wasn't the fitness journey, it was a personal development journey. Oh gosh, you just said it. You absolutely said it. I have a comment here from Maria, and Maria is saying that sweets are addictive.
They are.
They really are.
Sweets are addictive. Sugar in general is addictive. And I read somewhere where they're like, it's probably just as bad as like a class A drug or something. I probably would agree. Sweets are very, very addictive. Mind over matter with everything. Mind over matter always. You can always cut down on an addiction if you put your mind to it. And like I say, start gradually. You know, fine, you have a whole chocolate bar every day. Start cutting it down. Have half tomorrow. Have half the next day. Have half the day after, and then cut it down to a quarter. You know, and they always say when it comes to sugar, don't go cold turkey because it will backfire.
You see, I really like to think about healthy chocolate, but what about if you're really that super achiever and you like to complete things, you like to, accomplish things of the day, and you see this chocolate and you think, well, if I have only half, that means I don't complete my task because complete task is eating all of it.
No, Olga, no.
No, it doesn't work that way.
No. Okay, so just another note quickly on that. I don't believe in cutting anything off completely. I believe that if you want that chocolate, go ahead and have it, right? But moderation, girls and guys, like do it a little bit. Yeah, have chocolate if that's what you feel your body's telling you want, but don't have the whole bar. Have 2 or 3 little squares or whatever they are. Moderation. Like I say, work with your body, not against it. If your body wants chocolate, if your body needs sugar, have some, but don't binge on it.
Yeah, I got it. And it's like Maria, who is with us right now, listening us live, she's also commented. So she says, I like that smile. So just for today, I don't eat sugar. Let's support her with that. Well done, Maria.
Girl,
Good
well
choice. Well
done.
done, girl. Well done. Would love to hear from you. Would love to hear from you. If you can comment under the video at the very end of the day, did you do that? That would be great. Because
Yes, let us know.
that would be wonderful. That would be wonderful.
And you know what, Maria? Wait, if you can do it today, you can do it tomorrow and the next day and
Oh,
the next day. See?
this is so powerful. If you can do it within today, you can do it also tomorrow. Bingo. That's
Mhm,
exactly what we needed. This is so
mhm,
powerful. You see, the best things in life actually are so simple.
mhm.
They are so simple. Focus on 24 hours, do something every day, what is tangible, what actually is measurable, a little simple task, practice that, master that, and um, to make it long term, still focus on 24 hours. I love that. I really love
Yeah.
that. That's the great thing. Don't buy sugar because then you're not gonna have sugar at home. That's great, fabulous.
Yeah.
Works for me so far. Okay, fabulous. So, what would you say about timing of exercising? Because I'll be honest, when I wake up, I need to exercise in the morning. If it
Mhm,
is during the daytime, I feel already like, nah, right? So
mhm,
my routine is wake up, exercise, or go for a walk whilst we do power morning very often as well. But exercise in the morning. Do
mhm.
you say it's healthier to exercise at a particular time of the day, or maybe it doesn't really matter? What's your thoughts on that?
So you exercise early morning first thing, I exercise last thing at night.
Oh, that's interesting.
um, and that's for me, it's not really because of any scientific evidence or anything like that. It's really just based on convenience, right? So most of the people who I work with have other things going on in their lives. And what I always try and do is get rid of excuses. Hence, I don't have a time measure on when is the best time to exercise. Just do it. Right? Because what I find is with some of my clients, okay, fine, yeah, do it in the morning because it's the best time. I'm gonna get excuses. Oh, I have to take my kids in the morning. I start work really early in the morning. You know what I mean? And so it's like, no, just get rid of the excuses, exercise when you can. Gyms are now 24 hours. When they do eventually open back up again, you can get gyms that are 24 hours. You can work out early morning, late night, whenever you get a chance to put it in your day, work out, just do it. um, the reason I like working out at nighttime is because my day's over, and it's time for me to just spend that time with myself, really spend that time with myself. Okay, my day's over, let me go now and exercise. And while I'm exercising, I'm releasing all those endorphins, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, how has my day gone? What was good about my day? What was not good about my day? What can I do to improve my day? So it's like my me time, it's my me time now. Okay, the day's over. What was good about the day? What wasn't good? And when I go home to sleep, I have really good sleep because I've really extended
Mm.
my whole being, my whole body. I've extended it. I've done the best that I can. So that's me personally. I have a friend of mine who says she prefers to work out in the morning because working out gives her adrenaline. It gives her that rush. She's ready to go, boom, boom, boom. So she works out early morning. So I really don't think there should be a time specifically to do it. It's whenever you have the time to do it and what works for you, really, is what I think on that one.
It's fabulous tip, honestly. Do it now. There's no best time. Do it
Yeah.
now. I love that. Really love that. And I must say, what you mentioned, me time, it's something that I'm always, always overprotective of all my clients. Because like people always tell, I want to work on my relationships, I want to work on my fitness level, I want to work on my health, or I want to work on my money. And I always say, hang on a second, there's one area we need to work on. It's called
Mhm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything in life depends and starts from me time. If you don't have your me time, you don't go exercising. Yeah, right. You don't spend time cooking healthy meals for yourself. You don't
Yeah.
spend time maybe journaling. You don't spend time motivating yourself, reading materials, whatever else. So you said something really powerful that this is a part of my me time. My exercising is a part of my me time. Love that. This is
Mm-hmm.
really, really powerful. And
Mm-hmm.
what about those, let's say, who have, because for example, I have some clients who have like 7 children, right? What can they do, right? What can they do when actually they have, anybody from 20-year-old to a 2-year-old, and now they're really busy. And yes, they might not work, they could be housewives, but still they are busy and they don't have time to exercise. What they can do to help themselves to still maintain the healthy mindset, healthy body, staying more or less fit as much as they can afford time wise.
I always say, when you have a lot to juggle, plan. Just like you plan the amount of time you're going to give to each kid, also plan when you're going to squeeze in your exercise, or when you're going to squeeze in your me time. Just plan it. And I appreciate that sometimes things don't go to plan. Again, this is where the journey part that we were talking about earlier comes in. Okay, fine, today it didn't go according to plan. Try again tomorrow, but just make a plan and just do what you can. Whether it means that, okay, fine, because you're so busy, you can only give yourself 10 minutes. Give yourself that 10 minutes and cherish that 10 minutes. Respect that 10 minutes and really, do what you can to reach your goal in that 10 minutes, whether your goal is to exercise or to journal, whatever it is that you're working on. So yeah, just make a plan, look at your day ahead, see where you can squeeze it in really quickly, or even if you have more time, even better,
Right. So
if
going
you can.
back to 24
Yeah,
hours.
going back to 24 hours. And if you can even include those people that make you busy, include your children. Is it because you have to walk them to school? Let's all run to school, kids. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Let's all run to school. And that's your run done.
That's
you
true.
know,
That's very true. Yeah.
and I know that, you know, everyone has, it may not be so possible, but make whatever's possible. Fine, maybe not running, maybe you can brisk walk, whatever it is, but just make a plan. You wake up, again, your 24 hours, plan them and
Mhm.
stick to that plan as much as you possibly can. If not, try again tomorrow. It's a journey.
Love it. So even if you have really complex circumstances and you cannot find the time during the week or month or a year, focus on 24 hours. Find the
Yeah,
time today and don't look for the best time to exercise. Actually do it now.
yeah,
Love
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
it.
amazing. You know what? It's just like, yeah, job done. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
And don't make things so complicated in your mind. It really just is as simple as you make it, as you decide it is.
Agree with you. Agree with you. Oh my God, Ashia, it was such a pleasure. And I'm sure we could speak with you for hours and hours and hours on that, which we usually do actually. Because there is such a pool of wisdom within you. And you are not only an expert at what you do, you also are very, very successful in helping others. And I'm really, really admiring you. I'm really grateful for you coming onto this show, sharing all your tips, your wisdom, being vulnerable with us, and sharing your story. That is me, that means so much to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me. I've had such a good time, and I hope that yeah, we move forward in fitness and in good health, well-being, and taking care of ourselves.
Wonderful, wonderful. So if people would like to find more about yourself, where they would like to go, obviously I will post all the links below, but maybe you would like to share something from yourself.
Yes. Okay. So I can be found on Instagram. So on my Instagram, I share daily tips just to motivate you along your fitness journey. If you just need that little cheerleader, that little push, you can find me on Instagram. It's Ishea Ivy. So ISHEA IVY on Instagram, and also on YouTube. I post regularly lots of fitness videos and lots of nutritional content just to help you along your journey to fitness, health, and well-being. And again, on YouTube, it's the same Ishea Ivy, ISHEA IVY.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I'll definitely make sure that I'll post all your links below this video on YouTube, so people actually can click on them and can follow you and learn from you, because there's a lot more what we can learn from you. That's definitely, because every time we speak, there's always exchange of so much wisdom. And I'm so delighted you were here with us today, because you explained so many complex things in such an easy way, like easy, these bite chunks, which actually you can just swallow because they're so small. That's good. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was my pleasure. It was my pleasure. So everyone who was with us today, thank you so much for joining us. There were lovely comments here as we were speaking. Thank you so much for commenting. Maria, thank you so much. Stay healthy today. Maria says exactly every day will be today. That's really good thought. So please tune in back next week on Wednesday for Wellbeing and Mental Health Day, 1 p.m. on my YouTube channel. And I'll be here with my next guest. But today we need to say thank you to Ishea once more. I'll send you a virtual hug, lots of my kisses. Really grateful for being here with us today. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.